With Stoneman. Today we're going to talk about my 10 things I like to do with a Mac OS in the software to help you increase the performance of your Mac operating system, increase the performance of your computer. We have computers to make our lives quicker and easier, not to frustrate us and slow us down. So these are the top 10 things I recommend to do to help you out keeping your computer running fast and smooth. Now, this is a clean operating system on this, so we're not going to find anything, but we're just going to use this as an example to go through the different things. First and foremost would be, especially on older computers or stuff you download a lot, we're going to launch Safari here, would be download Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes is a free application, the free using one, from malwarebytes.org. We're going to go to malwarebytes.org on our computer. We're going to go to free download. And we're going to download the Malwarebytes free, which is automatically downloading to our computer if you click on free download. Now in Safari, you'll see this download icon and we'll see where it is. And here's our version of Malwarebytes. We're just going to install and run that real quick. This should take less than a minute because of the fact that I am on a new machine. So we're just going to go through the installation process. This is where you have to type your administrator password. The reason I wanted to go through this installation with you guys is just to see how easy it is to run. We're going to use the free version. You can use the Malwarebytes Premium. The big difference is this blocks apps where this does not. So if you download something suspicious, say you're trying to watch TV in a foreign country or a sports game or something that you're not available to watch, and you find this free video player and unfortunately it didn't work, but it slowed up your computer, that's where this would block it. This would only remove it. We're going to use the free version on this. And here we go. Now, of course, this being a new computer, this will be fairly quick to run. And this isn't going to find anything. So we're done. If we did get some quarantine stuff, this would show up in the detection center, quarantine. And we can click here and then click delete all of them. This computer's clean, so it does not have any of those issues. So that would be the first thing I would do. Next thing we're going to do to help speed up our computer, let's close Malwarebytes and close Safari for the moment, is we're going to look at our startup items. That would be in your system preferences, which is either the gear icon here, or we click Apple and we click on system preferences. Once we do this, we're going to go here to our users and groups. And we're going to look here under login items. There are no login items currently on this machine, as if this is a new machine. But you want to look in here and make sure there isn't stuff that's been deleted, especially after running Malwarebytes. You might find stuff with a generic icon that's not going to load. Anything you find in here you don't necessarily need to start up on your computer, just highlight it and click the minus button. Some items require you to authenticate by unlocking the system preference pane. So that would be the second thing we would do, is look for login items. Third thing we would do is we're going to go to sharing. We're going to make sure we're not sharing anything. Now this, a lot of people skip or don't realize, but you want to make sure you don't have anything that you're not sharing on. A lot of people sometimes turn on printer sharing when they have a wireless printer. They don't have to do that. Your wireless printer is already shared on the network. That's why it's a wireless printer. So we just want to go through here and make sure that there's nothing turned on, nothing here using CPU cycles and slowing up your computer. Next, we're going to go back to our system preferences and we're going to look for software updates. Now, not upgrades, updates. The difference is, and we're going to launch software update, is fairly simple. Software updates, the difference between an update and an upgrade. An update will update your current operating system with security patches and other things like this. An upgrade, as you see here for Catalina, would be a full new operating system. Normally, I don't recommend this right away. Try to fix your problems first without upgrading your operating system. We talked about that in a separate video on upgrading, but just be aware that you do want to make sure you have upgrades. You know, you want to do the updates, which are other updates available on this machine. And here we have two other upgrades. We're not updates. We're not going to run them right now, as I know the security update does require a restart, and we're in the middle of doing this video. But I will run these soon. But you want to just run all the updates, make sure your computer is up to date, especially the security updates and the Safari updates. This would be for things like making sure you're connecting to the right website. Sometimes Google won't connect properly without proper security patches installed. Same thing with Safari, won't connect properly to some websites without the updates. We're going to close this. The next thing we're going to look at is your hard drive space. You want to make sure that you have at least 15 to 20% free. Now on this operating system, 10.15, and most of them from 10.10 up, you go click on the Apple in the top left, click on About This Mac. Once we're here, we're going to go over to storage. Now, of course, like I said, this is a new machine, so we're not going to see anything really taking up any storage on this particular machine. But what we want to do then is go to Manage, if you do have stuff taking up, and we can see different things here, and we can remove stuff just by clicking on it. Like we'll use the trash can as example. We can do empty trash. This would empty the trash. Things you want to look in here, the big culprits are usually iOS files. Usually people have older backups when they backed up their devices to their computer of iOS files, and say from 3-4 years ago, and they don't need them anymore, or phones they no longer have, they can remove them here. So this is a big one to look at. Make sure you have at least 20% free, 15 to 20% of hard drive space free. Next thing we're going to look at is app updates. Now, not operating system updates like we talked about previously. We're talking about app updates. App updates go through the App Store. So we launch the App Store here. And we're going to see in this option right here on the bottom called Updates. If you're running an older operating system, it'll be on the top. Here's in here where you're going to run app updates. Things like security updates for particular apps that you've installed through the App Store. Things like that. That would show up here. You're going to want to update your applications on your computer. Next one is one that many people don't realize, but they do take CPU cycles and slow up your computer. This would be your widgets and your notification center. Widgets and Notification Center are listed right here. We click on this line icon, and here is my Notification Center. Now you see I put all the widgets in here right before I started this video so I can show you how to remove them. So it's fairly simple. You're going to go down to the Edit, click on the Edit, and then you have these little red minuses, and I don't need World Clock in there. I don't need Calculator in my widgets. I don't need Find My Friend in my widgets. I don't need Now Playing in my widgets. I kind of like Calendar in there. I don't need Stocks. Weather's kind of nice every now and then. But remove things that you don't want to have in your widgets, as these are always running in the background. These will be slowing up your computer. That's a good thing to do. Next, we're going to talk about turning off some visual effects in the Mac operating system. This will help increase the performance of this by not taxing your graphics card. So once again, we're going to go back up here to the Apple in the top left. We're going to click on the Apple and click on System Preferences. Once we're here, we're going to go to our Dock System Preference pane. In here, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have Scaled Effect on. This will help speed up when you're closing and minimizing different things. That's a pretty big thing there. I know it sounds funny. Uncheck Animate Open Applications as well, as this will slow up your computer as well. I don't like hiding my dock, but this will slow up a little bit, but that's a personal preference on that. But this would be inside the dock preference pane for turning off some effects. Next, we're going to go to one other place to turn off a visual effect. We're going to go back to our Show All. We're going to go to Accessibility. We're going to go into Displays. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on Reduce Transparency. This will help the performance of your graphics card and computer as well. It's a good thing to do. You're going to see different things, like your drop-down menus will now be solid as opposed to like seeing parts of your background and like a watermark behind it. Next, we're going to talk about your default Finder folder. Now what that is, we're going to close this up. When you launch Finder, your default folder is usually your recents. That's what's set by default. Now, of course, this uses CPU cycles because it's got to go through your computer every time you launch Finder, open this window, and then find all your most recent things. So in order to change that, you're going to go click up here under Finder, and you're going to go down to Preferences. Once you're inside Preferences here, new Finder windows open or show. We're going to change this from Recents. We're going to use our Documents folder. So what that means, from now on, we close this Finder window, we relaunch. We're now launching inside our Documents window, which means these are your documents. That's where you should be storing stuff anyway. So the last thing we want to talk about here in this particular video is Desktop Preview. That would be previewing your icons, your files on your desktop. So what this does, this takes up memory cycles, CPU cycles, and this will slow up your computer, especially as this grows if you have a lot more items on your desktop. Fairly simple to change this setting. So most people like it on, they like seeing what it is, but it will slow up your computer. Right now we're talking all about speed. So what we need to do is we need to click on we need to click on View, Show View Options. Once we're in View Options here, we have this option that's ticked by default, Show Icon Preview. We're going to untick that. Now you see we lose the pictures of the two apples. They're still there, the files are there, we just don't preview them and see them quickly. So we don't know exactly what they look like. Some people like this on, but as far as speed goes in your computer, it's better to have this off. This is Stoneman with Tech Tips with Stoneman. I hope this helps you out and you find this video useful. Please like and subscribe my channel for more tech tips. Thank you.